Alright guys, so welcome to the second part of this video. So for this bit I thought I'd do an updated version of my matchball collection that I did about over a year ago. So since then I got rid of a couple and I bought some new matchballs. And I thought I'd just show you what I have because it's not something that I really show people. And I just thought it'd be interesting for you guys to see them and me talk a bit about them and which I like and which I don't like. So yeah, let's get into it now and I'll show you the first ball. So the first ball I'm going to show you, and the oldest one that I have, is the Konex 15, as you can see here. I've had this about a year and a half, and honestly it's probably one of my favourite balls I've actually used. As you can see, it's popped, so I can't use it at the moment. Well, I won't be able to use it, and it's quite worn out, the grip, but when I used to use it, it was really good, and if it wasn't popped I probably would still use it now, it was that good. But yeah, it's popped, so I won't be using that. So continuing with the style of the bazooka panels, I got the Torfa brick. This cost me about £34 at an outlet, so it's pretty cheap. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't impressed with it at all. All the paint on it is all worn off, and actually there's a corner right here where it's just white with no colour. I thought that it would be similar to the bazooka. I've used the bazooka before, and obviously the Konex 15 and other bazooka variants, and the Torfa brick was definitely probably my least favourite. So this is the 2015-16 one, I think. And in actual fact, I used to have the 2014-15 one, the yellow one, which it was actually one of the best balls I've used. I don't actually have that, that's in a bush somewhere. But the Torfa brick, I definitely wasn't impressed with. The durability is bad. It's light, but it's just not very grippy. Still holds air, but I'm not really a big fan of it, to be honest. Next in the list is the Adidas Erajota. When I started using it, I was pleasantly surprised, as it was slightly heavier than some match balls, but it was really grippy for basics. But I soon realised that in my sessions after about 2 hours, it started to feel really heavy and my legs were tiring out a lot quicker and I couldn't go on for as long. And in general, when doing kick-ups and stuff with it, it just doesn't feel as easy to do than with lighter balls. I think due to the weight, and also there's not very much padding on it. It's heavy and not very padded. I know I did a video on this before when I first got it and I said it was one of my favourite match balls, but my opinion changes, to be honest, very quickly, and it's not really a ball that I'll be using in the future much. I've tried out a couple of sessions recently and my opinion didn't really change, so I won't be using that ball either. So the fourth one I have to show you is one that I've been using very recently, the Adidas Kafusa. So obviously, as you may be able to recognise, the actual Kafusa has a Tango panels, whereas this has bazooka panels, which I'm not really sure why they did this, but it was for the Turkey 2013 Under-20 World Cup. So yeah, Kafusa design with bazooka panels. I was actually a little bit disappointed with the durability of this one. I used it for about 6 or 7 sessions indoors, and as you can see, all of the green paint is now wearing out and turning white, which, considering I've only been using it for about a month or two, is pretty disappointing. On a performance side, however, it is a very good ball. It feels exactly like the bazooka as I remember. It's very light, fairly grippy, and just a good all-round ball. I've used this for all-round uppers, lowers, everything, and it is a pretty decent ball. Compared with the Erajota, I noticed that this didn't have any padding either, but for some reason, I think it might be because it's a bit lighter, it just felt a lot easier to do the kick-ups and tricks, and it just was a lot more enjoyable to train with. So now we have the last bazooka variant, and as you can see, it's the Adidas Mahaba. When I first got this, I was really impressed with the design. As you can see, it has this blue panelling with these gold stars on, which I think is a really nice touch, and I was really excited to use it. When I first started training with it, I noticed how light it was, and you can definitely feel when you're doing kick-ups that it is very light. However, the grip just isn't there. Before I bought this ball, I watched Tom Folan's video on the Mahaba, and every single point he made is exactly the same as my opinion. It's light, similar to bazooka, but it's just not very grippy. He thinks himself that it was the kind of the off-white paint that made it not very grippy, and I completely agree. On top of the point he made about it not being very durable, I used this literally about 3 sessions and it's already worn out, which isn't very good for a new match ball. So this ball is very light but not very grippy. So there are definitely some other balls that I would prefer to use if I was looking for lightness over grip, which I'll move on to now. So the Mahaba, I probably won't be using again. I'll keep it though because I feel it's quite rare. I don't really see many people with these balls about. But yeah, I'll move on to the next one. So before I show you this one, I was saying about how the Mahaba was light and not very grippy, and this leads me on to the Euro Pass. So this ball is extremely light, probably the lightest ball I've ever used. However, there's no grip, so it's got a strange texture where I can pick it up with one hand like this, but when doing basics, the ball just slips for some reason. However, as I said, it's very light, and I enjoyed using it. Unfortunately, it's popped as well. I think it was a thorn bush. I don't know if you can see, but I tried gluing it all up together and it just didn't really work. If it wasn't popped, I'd probably still be using it, but there are other balls now that I prefer using, so unfortunately the Europass I won't be using. Right, so near at the end of the list we have the 2015 Berlin ball. So this is a really good ball. It's extremely light and it's also very grippy. It reminds me exactly of the Bazooka, just with different panels. I'm not a huge fan of the design, as it's quite confusing to the eye with all the different colours and patterns. But when using it, it was definitely a ball I enjoyed. There's no padding whatsoever, it's just hard. So if you're looking to do things like no touch and basics, I think it's a very good ball. But for other things it might not be as good. But I definitely enjoyed using it. So now we move on to the final ball. This is the ball that I'm starting using now, and it is the Adidas Tango 12. It's probably my favourite ball. I'm not sure if you know the story, but when I first started freestyle, I actually bought the black and white Tango off my friend for £13, which was an absolute bargain. And unfortunately, I lost it on a roof. So it's nice to have the Tango back again, and I'm using it as I should be. This feels slightly heavier than most match balls, but not as heavy as the Erajota. But the grip is outstanding. I can do basics and everything with this without the ball slipping, and it's also got a subtle amount of padding, which means that for things like no touch and stuff it pops perfectly, and it's just a really great all-round ball for everything, uppers, transitions, everything. It's really grippy, fairly light, and it's probably my favourite ball I've ever used. Right, so they're all the match balls that I own. As I said, I don't use most of them, I only use one or two. I'll also be buying a new match ball at Christmas, which you may have seen on my Instagram story. So I'll make a separate video on that, as I'm very excited to use that. So moving away from the match balls, just a little update. My birthday is in about 10 days from now, depending on when this comes out. And I'll be getting a new camera lens for this camera here. At the moment I'm using an 18 to 55mm, and I will be getting a 50mm f1.4, which means that it will let in more light. I'll be able to shoot better videos in low light and in the dark, and also it'll be a lot better for making edits. So I'll be getting that very soon. It should make my videos a lot better. I've also got this. So this is like basically something to film videos with, and it's just better for supporting the camera, and it also should make my videos a lot better. Most of the time I'll be taking this bit and the front bit off and just using the handle to hold the camera, but hopefully my videos will turn out a lot better and they should be less kind of shaky and more professional. Also, I'll be going to Super Bowl next year, 2019, in Prague, so any of you guys come in, comment down below so I know who's coming. It'll be my first time going to Super Bowl and I'm super excited. Seeing all the videos from the past years and stuff, it looks absolutely great. Get to meet everyone who I know and who I haven't met before. So it should be a really great experience. I'll be making some vlogs from that week, and over this summer next year I should be making lots more videos. And also I'll be trying to make a lot more videos now, so going to freestyle meets, training vlogs, any just vlogs that if I do anything interesting I'll try and make some vlogs from them. And overall just try and step up my content a bit. I always tell you guys I'm going to start making videos again, and I never get around to making any videos because I go out training, try and land in combos rather than making training vlogs, and it's not always easy to make YouTube videos as I don't always get to kind of film as much stuff as I'd like, but I try and make a YouTube video whenever I can, and hopefully you'll enjoy this video here. If you did, remember to like, subscribe and comment, and I'll see you in the next video.